So, art. Art is of course to taste, but I have chosen this piece here for very specific reasons. I know you will be full of ideas about what you can use the skills learned here to create, but for the purposes of this training we should all be trying to recreate something similar, if not identical, to the finished piece. This will allow us to focus on the fundamentals and save us from getting too sidetracked within the limited time that we have. However, if you would like to make something completely different, I will of course do my best to support you. So art is an incredibly broad subject, and a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on what makes a great image. What you will find, however, after years of talking to hundreds of art directors and directors, concept artists, is that everything that we do should be working towards supporting the idea or the feeling that you want to create. So, in essence, what that means is there is no real right answer to how to, proceed. It should all come from the idea that you begin with. The first port of call is to really try and understand the idea. So, it does sound almost self-explanatory, but too often people rush in with what they believe looks cool without giving proper time to assess if what they're creating is harmonious on as many levels as possible. And this harmony needs to feed into every aspect of the piece and inform every choice. So as an example of this, to try and better explain what it is that I'm trying to say, we'll take a quick look at Love, Death and Robots. So the harmony can sometimes it can be very simple and not require much. So just some colour choices and matching some angles. But, and this is very true for anything that deviates from reality or something that isn't supposed to be photoreal, it can also be very deep-rooted in forming the pacing, the compositional and colour choices, the asset modelling and the texture and shading decisions, the lighting and the methods used in compositing. So if I quickly bring up some Love, Death and Robots stuff, in this case we're talking about The Witness. The reason I use this as an example is the director, in this case Alberto Miogo, his vision permeates or seeps into every aspect of this piece. So it starts from the boards, it goes into the camera choices, it goes into the texture choices, the colour choices, it goes into the camera effects and how he chooses to create this stuff in the compositing phase. Essentially, he's thought about this on every level that he possibly could, and he's making sure that his vision is steady throughout. Mixing 2D with 3D is one of the hardest things that you can do, and he does it to such great effect. And that's, again, it just comes down to how considerate he is when first beginning this process. So what we should take away from this is that harmony in general, I'm using the word harmony because it seems to best define what it is that I'm trying to say. What we should take away from this is the desire to be very deliberate with our decision making and try to leave nothing behind when it comes to realising the idea. So the idea is the easy part, but realising it and staying true to it right to the end is where the difficulty arises. So what does this mean for environments? It could inform the camera choice or the camera movement, the art style, whether it's realistic or not, the colours that you choose to use, the biodome, at least that's how they refer to it in Megascans. Essentially, it means the ecology of the place or the landscape. The narrative or the story and how you choose to add that in to the piece. The lighting choices, the compositing choices, and the grading at the end. So as an example, if we were to create something that's supposed to be dramatic, we could use large sweeping camera moves, vast landscapes, and high contrast lighting, similar to the main shots here for the workshop. But we'll discuss this a little later. So I'll end this video here, And in the next one, we will talk about compositing. Sorry, composition.